Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to show you, oh my gosh, I've got so many products. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of products that I just love, some of them are old, some of them are new, so it's kind of like the sort of video that you would do maybe at the end of the year. But I just want to show you some products that I love, and that's exactly what I'm going to do in today's video. If you're new here and you love skincare, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and you can also ring the bell if you would like to be notified every time I upload a new video, which is usually on Wednesdays and Sundays. But enough with the boring stuff, let's start talking about these skincare and beauty products. Right, so the first one I'm just going to grab very randomly is the Drunk Elephant A Passione Retinol, which I have been using since I bought it, which is perfectly normal. I did a review on this. I actually did a follow-up review on this, which I'll link up above. I did an initial review and then a follow-up review, and I'll link that one up above. I'm still less than halfway through it. It works out very good value for money. I initially complained about the price for the small tube, but I actually think that it's good value for money. It's potent, it's strong, and it's got lots of other ingredients in that I think really nourish the skin. So I love it. The second one I'm not going to go into because I've mentioned it about 50 billion times is the Ordinary Marine Hyaluronics. I've been looking after my boyfriend's skin, so I've basically been cleansing his face every evening and putting on serums for him. And he calls this mermaid tears because he loves it so much as well. He feels like he loves the lightweight texture of it and how amazing it is at hydrating the skin. So that is a winner. And I'm actually going to London next week and Christian's going to be with me, so we're going to be stocking up on this, even though I've got the Hada Labo. I've got so much hyaluronic acid right now, I feel like I could take a bath in it, which actually isn't such a bad idea. Can you imagine how amazing that would be? The next one is from my first Korean Japanese skincare order I did from YesStyle, and that is the Laneige Cream Skin Refiner Mist. Now, do you know what? This would probably have been better for my skin in the winter because it's so hydrating. This really is like putting moisturiser on your face, but it's a mist. And it seems that when I bought this, it was the mist. And now they've got like I don't know if it's an essence or a toner, but it's in like a different shaped bottle, slightly wider, and you dab it into your hand. That's the only one that I think is available now, but basically they're both exactly the same. I checked. One's just a spray, which is this one, and the other one is, it's either an essence or a toner, I can't remember, but it really is like this milky liquid, and it's got hydrators and amino acids in, which is good for the skin's barrier function. A healthy barrier function keeps the bad stuff out and the good stuff in, so we all need that, and it can become compromised when you use lots of exfoliating acids or vitamin C or retinol and that kind of thing. So this just helps rebalance the skin, and it's lovely and deeply hydrating and moisturizing to the point where you don't necessarily need to use that much else with it because it does a lot on its own. You could perhaps just combine some peptides and then you're good to go. So that's really nice, but probably better in the winter than the summer. This one is the Deep Sleep Pillow Spray from This Works. Now they've got the Sleep Plus spray, and they've got this. I think that the Sleep Plus is more expensive. They're basically all the same as far as I'm concerned. There's not that much difference between them, so I would just get this one, which is the more affordable one. It's glorious. I love it because it actually does help me fall asleep. Sometimes I'm surprised. I don't actually expect it to help me fall asleep. I just think it smells lovely, but then it actually does what it says it's going to do, and it surprises me. But this is really nice, especially if you're traveling, because it kind of smells like home when you're not at home. So I love it. Really, really nice. And then the other This Works product that I really like is the Morning Expert Multi-Acid Pads. The reason why I like these is because they've got azelaic acid in, and they've also got niacinamide in, so it's good at keeping your skin clear. And because my skin's been a bit red and irritated and slightly spotty, azelaic acid is brilliant for that. I did a whole video on it, which azelaic acid I'm talking about, which I'll link up above. And throughout the video, I called it azelaic acid, which is incorrect. Klairs Soft Airy UV Essence. I absolutely adore this SPF. It's SPF 50. It's vegan friendly. It's got the most glorious, lightweight texture that just feels so comfortable on the skin. In the recent review I did on this, someone left me a very long comment pointing out that this might not necessarily be the best SPF because it hasn't got the most ingredients in it that actually protect your skin. Which was a valid point. I think that if this is the sort of SPF, even though it's SPF 50, and I did point that out in the review, it's not the sort of SPF that you would kind of sit out in the sun in. I don't think that that's a good idea anyway. And it's not the sort of SPF that you would wear to the pool or to the beach. But if you live in Europe, or you live in, I don't know, somewhere where it's not incredibly hot and sunny all of the time, then I believe that this is a perfectly suitable SPF for day-to-day use all year round. But if you live somewhere that is incredibly hot and you want that guaranteed SPF coverage, then it might not be strong enough, and you do have to be careful that you apply it liberally, because it is very fine. But I've seen Renee from Gothamista apply an SPF with a similar texture to this, and she applied it 1/4 teaspoon to her face, and I trust what she does. She seems to know what she's talking about. So yeah, they're my thoughts on that, but it's a glorious SPF. Love it. And it's also it's got niacinamide in, which I like, and it's good value for money for what you get. Now, I haven't been using this one so much, I'll be honest, because I've been using the retinol, and I use vitamin C, and I can't use too many actives. So this one's kind of hasn't been hugely used, but it's the Sunday Riley Good Genes with Glycolic Acid. You can't get the salicylic acid one in the EU anymore. It's doesn't work. They're very strict here. You can obviously get both in the US. This, I love glycolic acid anyway. This is strong. Sometimes it makes me peel, especially if I've used some retinol within the last week. I will get kind of peeling from this, but it doesn't irritate my skin at all. It's got squalene in this. Now, I don't generally like squalene from the ordinary when it's used on its own as an ingredient that you layer with other things, or I prefer it in a formula like this, and it works very well, because otherwise I feel like it's just a tiny bit greasy, and it kind of just sits, for me, it kind of sits on the surface. It hasn't got that juiciness that an oil can have, but they formulate it in this formula, and it works perfectly in that sense. And there's something about the texture of Sunday Riley serums that is just so beautiful. They're so smooth. She puts silicone in all of them, so that's probably got something to do with it, but they're just so smooth, and they're so comfortable to use. And if you don't want to cocktail different ingredients, then the Sunday Riley serums are the way to go. They're pricey, but they're lovely, potent and lovely in terms of texture. Now, I just did a review on African Botanics, which I'll link up above, and I mentioned 9 different products, and I'm not going to talk about these so much, but I'm just quickly going to show you because there's some of the products that I'm really, really loving right now. It's the Resurrection Eye Cream, the neroli infused marula oil, the Cloudburst Micro Emulsion, Fleur de Rose Cream Cleanser, Baobab Oxygenating Cleanser, and the Rose Treatment Essence. You might be thinking that's a lot of product. They're like my favourite products within all of this range right now. I love a lot of products from that brand. I talk about that more in the review, but yeah, I'm absolutely loving those right now. And if you do want to see more about that review, then I've linked it up above. Another thing that I'm loving right now is peptides. Peptides are just so good because they are really good for wrinkles. They're good for just overall plumping up and smoothing the skin, repairing the skin. There's all different types of peptides, and I am really still loving, after using it, I think this is my 3rd bottle of this, is the Copper Amino Isolate Serum from Niod. It's brilliant, very, very good. Very expensive, but if you want copper peptides, this is the serum to go for. They have got The Ordinary have got one, which is more affordable, that is also very good. It's actually very, very good. So if you are looking for something more on a budget, then you should check out The Ordinary one. But I love this. It's just sinks into the skin. I do this like first step after cleansing, always first step with this, and it's brilliant. Another peptide that I'm loving is the Azelaic Solution 10%. I did a review on this, which I'll link up above. I'm actually going to link all of the videos that I've mentioned in the description box as well, because that's probably easier for you. That's a really good peptide for more intense wrinkles, but I really enjoy using it on my neck, around my eyes, and on my forehead, and in between my eyebrows. The last product that I'm going to mention from The Ordinary is the Multi-Peptide Serum for Hair Density. Now, I have been using this for a little bit. I bought it about 3 weeks ago. I've used a lot of it. You're supposed to apply a few drops for your whole head. I have got absolutely no clue on earth how you are supposed to, maybe you're not supposed to get it all over your scalp. I don't know, but 3 or 4 drops of this, because most of it goes into your hair, is not enough to sufficiently ensure that your head has got the serum all over it, your scalp. So I'm not sure how that works, but what I've started doing and really enjoying with this is just using it on my hair during the day, because I'm wearing it curly at the moment. This kind of takes the fluffiness out of it and it makes the curl nicer. And I always drop it on my scalp anyway, but inevitably, it gets in your hair and it makes my curls look really nice. So that's actually good, because sometimes I was forgetting to use it, just applying it before bed. So by applying it, it's almost like a styling product, even though I do definitely just drop it on my scalp. It works really well, but I can't comment on its ability to make my hair thicker yet. I need to give it some time. 3 weeks is not a sufficient amount of time to say whether it works or not, because the new hair needs to grow through. But it contains, I believe it contains lactic acid. Yes, it does. Lactic acid is on the ingredients list. I think that's really good, because I was considering using some kind of acid, like an acid toner, on my scalp, but I just wasn't sure whether it would be good for my hair or not, so I didn't do it. But I think that's good, because the scalp can get so dry with just dry skin, especially the shampoo we use. It's always got SLS in it, and even if it hasn't got SLS in it, it still foams up and it's going to dry out your scalp. You would never do that to your face. So I think that a bit of exfoliation for your scalp is an excellent thing, because if the area where the hair grows gets blocked with dead skin, then the hair can't grow out properly, and that's a reason why people's hair gets thinner and can cause hair loss. So I think a bit of scalp exfoliation is good. So in terms of how it covers the scalp, I always just apply it to a slightly different area each time. So I think that, so hopefully it's kind of somehow moving around. But if I'm completely honest, it's only this top section of my head where it's going. I'm not bothering applying it anywhere to the sides, but I feel like this area of the hair is not really, this area of the head is not really where it gets thin so much anyway. I don't know, that's what I'm doing. I'll keep you posted. Last 2 products, Glossier Stretch Concealer in medium. This is such a good concealer. You've obviously seen me use this loads of times, but I I've got a relationship with the PR for Glossier in London, so they kindly, sometimes I send them an email and say, would you be able to send me a couple of bits? And sometimes they do. So they've agreed to send me a couple of bits, which is really nice because I really, really like Glossier. And in that, they promised me that they were going to send the new shade of this. So this is medium, but it just hasn't got a difference in tone. But what they're going to send me is basically medium, but it's going to be in a neutral tone, whereas this one is more warm. And this sometimes is a little bit too warm. So I'm really looking forward to trying it out. So when I've got them, I'm going to obviously show you them all. But in terms of the formula, it's just a dream. For me, it's perfect, super nice and natural. So sometimes if I don't want to put any base, like any foundation or tinted moisturiser on, sometimes just a bit of this around my nose and under my eyes is enough. And it's good because it doesn't sit in fine lines. It does crease a little bit though. Sometimes you have to powder it. But yeah, as concealers go, this is the best one I've tried so far. And it's definitely not the most expensive either. So the final one is the Roche Posay Cicaplast Balm B5. I initially reviewed this I did a video when I started using the Drunk Elephant Retinol on like a skincare routine when your face is freaking out from retinol use, which it was when I started using this because I used it too frequently. And this was one of the products that came to the rescue. It's a very thick cream, which sometimes I use this at night, sometimes I use it in the day, and it never breaks me out because it's got antibacterial agents in it. It's got lots of panthenol. It's got panthenol 5%. So it's good for the skin's barrier function, but it will also kind of, it's antibacterial as well. So it's really, really, really good. So if my skin is ever feeling a bit irritated and I need that kind of hit of like moisture, then I just use a tiny bit of this on top and it's really good. So I've been using it on and off since my skin kind of rebalanced from the retinol use. And it's just really, really good. It's a good solid product that I think that a lot of people could benefit from having in their, skincare collection and just using it as and when, if the skin is kind of irritated or if you've got dry patches or I don't know, it just has got many kind of benefits to it. A lot of people really love Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream. I haven't used that for years. I did buy it and I was using it as a lip balm and it made my lips more dry than they've ever been, and that really just put me off. So I would use this in place of the 8-Hour Cream any day, and I would use it on my elbows or my hands or wherever. I would use it in the same kind of way that you can just use it wherever you need it. So that's it for just a whole bunch of different products. I really did skim over the African Botanics one because I have done the big review on them, but those products they're special products that are a treat for people that are willing or able to spend a fortune on products. But then some of the other things like Drunk Elephant can be quite expensive as well. Sunday Riley's expensive as well. It's funny because I almost feel like I have to explain myself when I talk about expensive products because I feel bad about it, because I know a lot of people go mad. They almost troll people for talking about expensive things, and it makes me nervous, but I don't think that I should, because I feel like if anyone's reacting that negatively to an expensive product, then that's more their problem, because some people do like expensive products. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you've got any suggestions or questions regarding any of the products or anything that you would like to see in future videos, or you just want to say hi, then let me know in the comments below, because I always love to hear from you guys. Thanks as always for watching my videos. I love you all. You're amazing. You're the best bunch. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.